listening to Living Podcariously, recorded live in the Nanana Studios.
I was listening to my edits last week, fading the music in and out. I'm like, oh man, I missed my beats, I missed the cue, I missed the timing, I missed it. Oh well, we're getting better at that. So, all right, welcome to Living Podcariously, episode number 108.
Damn,
we're old. We're officially old now.
We're an old show.
I am one of your hosts for tonight. My name is Adam. Sitting across from me over on the couch,
I'm Andrea Joy. Sitting next to me,
I'm Mr. Wilson.
And we have a very special guest in studio with us tonight. Return to the show, fan favorite. We've had a demand for him, mostly out of Andrea Joy. However, that's okay.
That's all right, I'll take it. I'm Jason Crase. Hey.
Jason Crase.
What up,
Welcome
man?
back into the studio.
Thank you so much. New and improved in here.
Yeah, new and improved Chili Nanana Studios.
Chili and Nana.
Yeah, this is the coldest studio I think we've ever had.
Yeah, for real. I intentionally put on pants today because my shorts weren't going to cut it.
Well, I was gonna say normally he does a show naked, so he intentionally put pants.
Oh,
on.
that's why the North Pole sign's in here. I see that.
Yep.
Yeah, Kaka gave
Ice
us that.
cold.
Yeah, she gave us the North. Well, as I say, she gave it. It's sitting in her here from her stuff, but it's apropos. It's cold as shit in this room.
I love it. Feels good.
Well, welcome, Jason.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's nice to have you. And you are sporting a very important shirt for the studio and for our show.
Mm-hmm.
What are you wearing over there?
I'm wearing the an official fan loving hot pink merch.
That's right.
T-shirt.
We need to get some of the guys from Hot Pink back in here again. I wish they had some stuff we could. I mean, I'm sure they would probably let us air some of their cover stuff that they do.
Yeah.
But I want some Hot Pink originals.
We've aired some of their original, right?
Yeah, a lot of the Queen stuff. And
No, I mean, we aired...
oh, well, that was so that original, I know what you're talking about. I didn't
it was
interrupt
like
you.
China Eyes
China
and
Trees.
China Trees.
China Eyes. Racist! Right off the bat.
Whoa.
Yes, China Trees.
How do those China eyes look, Josh? How's that go?
I'm never going to live that down. I'm going to be a racist for the rest of the show.
Yes, you are. So that was China Trees. That was actually written and choreographed by, I guess choreographed is the wrong choice. They didn't dance, but by Evan, who was their guitarist, or was he? I don't remember what he did there. Maybe he was their drummer. He wrote it. It was a beautiful song. Don't get me wrong, but he then left the band or got kicked out. I don't know the full story, but he's in another band now. Yeah, so that was his song, but it was great.
Power Couch now? Does that sound right?
That sounds exactly right. Yeah, Power Couch, and they're pretty good too. They play at Village Idiot Pub occasionally. So
sweet.
Oh, give them a couple plugs there, but
Ding dang.
So yeah, Jason Crase is sporting the hot pink shirt.
Yeah, crack-a-lackin'.
Hot Pink now has a new member with them.
Yeah,
Mr. Jason Cook.
Jason Cook, man, brilliant guitar player. Brilliant.
And he is the son of the director of the Cocoa Village Playhouse, right?
That is correct.
That's Stacy's son, right?
Mm-hmm. Stacy's son.
Incredibly talented dude. How is he doing? Because I know we participated. I wasn't officially with the show, but we were there. We participated in the fundraiser for Jason Cook.
That's right.
How's his whole situation doing?
He seems to be doing very well. I'm actually taking guitar lessons with him.
That's awesome.
So it's really a pleasure just to sit with him for 30 minutes every week. I wish I could do more. He's a brilliant teacher, and he struggles. He's got some health issues, and that was what the fundraiser was in aid of. But I think he's doing well, and he's playing full time now with Hot Pink. And he really likes it.
That's cool.
So yeah, and he's a good addition to that band.
Those guys are amazing. They're doing a lot of stuff with the Playhouse, aren't they? Isn't Hot Pink
we
doing
got a
shows?
packed season. They're actually going to be putting together a Hot Pink season pass because they're doing so much with us. August 16, 17, 18, I believe it is. I should have my dates in front of me. Doesn't matter. Last couple weekends in August, consecutive. They're doing their Beatles show, the Motown show first, and then they're doing their Beatles tribute show, and then they have a Rolling Stone happening at the end of the season. Like
they're doing
Nice.
3D.
Yeah, Pink Floyd. Oh, Pink Floyd. That's what it is. That's what it is.
It's not they're not bringing the Beatles show back?
No, they are bringing the Beatles back. They're
That's
doing
not
4
until
shows.
later.
Oh, damn.
Sorry, Stacy, if you're listening. I don't know my dates.
Let me tell you. I know Stacy very well. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't know her very well. I know her well enough to know she doesn't listen to this
She's
show.
not listening.
She's too highfalutin. She's too high class for us lowbrows down here. Us China eyes.
It has
down
nothing to
here.
do with class. It just it has to do with she's always working, man. She can't listen to anything. Anyway,
Andrea took me to see the Beatles, the Hot Pink Beatles, and my favorite seat, the entire place. Well, the two of them are my favorite seats, which is either in front of the light booth or in front of the sound booth, up on the balcony, right on the rail, so you get to go up to the bar really easily during a concert.
If you talk too much about those seats, everyone's going to want them.
They're
and
already
you're never
gone.
going to get them.
They're already gone. I would buy season tickets if I could guarantee that seat every time.
you can.
Could have.
That's what the point of season tickets
But
is.
I would
man.
want the Hot Pink shows for sure, but also the other shows. I want to see the
You
full.
can do that for
same.
all of it.
Really?
Yeah, so we were kind of talking about this yesterday too. You mentioned a different Cinderella story.
Yes.
What else is going on?
Oh yeah, it's a packed season. So we're going into our 30th season. 30 years.
Oh, shit.
30 years of this program, and at the historic facility, which incidentally was built in 1924. It's a beautiful historic theater, and it's been recently renovated.
It's one of the only vaudeville
beautiful.
theaters left in Florida. Original vaudeville, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the National Register of Historic Places. It belongs to the there's a big theater. I lost my train of thought on that. But
That's
there's
all
a
good.
beautiful organization for historic theaters that we are the League of Historic Theaters, I believe is what it's
Oh, there you
called.
go.
Anyway,
For our new listeners that might not remember Jason or heard the old episodes, Jason now is an employee with the Cocoa Village Playhouse. So he's not here representing them. However, that's where he works.
yeah, I do work there. I
It's
do
where you
many.
make your riches.
Yeah, nonprofit living. No, it's a great job. I do a lot of different things, but I'm also a volunteer performer. So it's where I started performing, and I'm back.
Well, you know that
That's
we've
cool.
come to see you. Josh has been to see you a couple times too.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilson's come to see
Mr.
Beauty and the Beast.
Wilson.
Did you go see the Coat of Many Colors as well? Did you go see him when he was in Joseph?
Yeah, actually, that was when I met you.
Yeah.
Was out front, and I say met you. Of course, that was like the 15 seconds that you could spare after the show. But
Yeah.
I met you then, and that was you moved away, right? And you came back for that show. Am I remembering that
I
right?
was in Ohio for a while. I didn't come back for that show, but the show was announced pretty soon after I had returned.
Oh, I see.
And so that was kind of it's a show that I had starred in as Joseph. This is the third
Stacy's
time.
Stacy's announcement at the beginning of the show said Jason Crase, and he's back to reprise his role again as Joseph. That is Jason Crase. It was really cool. It was really cool to see how she introduced you for it.
That's showbiz.
Yeah.
Oh no, but Josh asked about Mr. Wilson asked about this season. We do have Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, which is not the Disney Cinderella. That was what we talked about
That's
last
exactly
night.
what we were talking about. Yeah,
Mhm.
because I was lost. I was like, "What's?"
And
There's
this
a
is
difference?
Yes.
I mean, I'm a thespian, but I don't know.
Well,
I'm
it's
an idiot when it comes to that kind of stuff.
It's the classic story of Cinderella, surely, but it's set to music by Rodgers and Hammerstein, who are the godfathers of musical theater.
Okay.
So, but it's the updated Broadway version where they do all of the costume changes instantly on stage. Like she goes from peasant, cleaning the chimney with a rag on her head, instantly with one flip, she's in her gown with her new wig and crown.
So it was a magic show.
Not with
That's
a
awesome. Yeah,
flip
like
with a
so
fairy
magicians.
godmother.
Yeah, it's huge. People will recognize it from. They've done something like that in America's Got Talent or X Factor or whatever, where that the ballroom couple, like, she instantly changes costumes.
I know what you're
Live
talking
on
about
stage,
while
yeah.
they're dancing.
It's
Yeah.
the same,
And it's
It's the same
mind-blowing.
magic
Cool.
technique. Yeah.
There's a group out of Japan or China Eyes. One of the places.
Come on.
It's not gonna let that one go, buddy.
watching you.
But there's a group over there that does costume changes to include full face mask.
Yeah.
And it's so fast that unless you have like a 100 frame per second slowdown of you can't see where the costume changes are actually coming from or going to. You can't see it. It's a really intricate mechanism and design that these guys use and girls use to do these changes. It is so fast. You could literally watch the person in front of you and it happens in front of your eyes and you can't see it happen. It's faster than your eyes can see, which is 30 frames a second on the average human eye. It happens faster than that for you to be able to see it. It's nuts.
That's a fun fact to know.
Yeah. What, 30 frames a second?
Yeah.
I'm full of useless shit. Take me in trivia, I'll do well.
Right on. So after that is White Christmas, which is a live stage musical based on the Bing Crosby film. And then after that, Sound of Music, another Rodgers and Hammerstein for the season. And then one of my dream shows ever.
Yay!
Andrea Joy's clapping.
Oh God, Andrea Joy's getting happy.
Into the Woods.
Yay! I've been waiting 20 years for the Playhouse to do this.
The film. Many of the listeners may have seen the film. It doesn't do it justice. The filmed stage version starring Bernadette Peters.
Awesome.
Now that's the ticket.
So is that one you want to star in, Andrea?
I don't want to star in it. I just want to be a part of it.
Just to be part of the production.
I would really like to be a stepsister.
Now, I don't know that story at all. I know nothing about that story.
Into the Woods is
a movie. You'd like it.
Into the Woods
It's
is
a
like
movie too, yeah.
it's like a fairy tale mashup.
Huh.
And all the fairy tales are sort of interwoven.
Really?
There's
Yeah.
Cinderella, Rapunzel, Jack and the Beanstalk.
I don't know the one about the baker and his wife.
No, me neither.
But they're
Andrea was a
big part of the
baker's
story.
wife in Beauty and the Beast.
Marie, the
Yep.
baguettes.
Hurry
Her
up.
lap.
Baguettes. Well, that's cool. So I got a little bit famous this past week. I won a prize.
What?
Well, I did win a prize. I technically won a prize.
Oh, technically.
Yeah, it's not here yet.
Is that a consolation prize?
It is definitely a consolation
Fragile.
prize. It is. It must be French. No, what is it? German? China.
China.
Italian.
It must be Italian. Fragile.
Maybe it's a bowling alley. Sorry. Anyway.
So yeah, I took second place in something. This is going to be a shameless plug for another podcast, but hey, guess what? They let me play and participate, so I'm going to give them back a little bit of love. I never plugged our show. I didn't cheeseball factor it up at all. So I didn't
have.
No, but I told him, I said, look, this is not. I don't want to use my story to shamelessly plug our podcast. I was going to leave it to them to, if they wanted to ask, like, hey, you do a podcast? They didn't, but irrelevant. So our friends over in Orlando named Tom and Dan, they have a little podcast, little podcast. They just won the best podcast award again for Central Florida. Anyway,
Wow.
They had a. Do any of you know what this week is right now that we're in?
Shark Week.
Shark Week. Dun dun. Yes.
Whoa.
So this is Shark Week. I had a Shart Week story to give them.
I have so many Shark Week stories.
So I won't go into the full story. Andrea knows the story and she hates the story. I told the story years ago on our podcast that we don't have anymore.
I know the story.
It is that story.
It's not even a shart.
It is a shart. There is a shart in the story. Let's just put it this way. It is a sexual adventure that ends in tragedy. It is a Shakespearean piece of work, is what it is. And I gave this story to Tom and Dan, and out of the 100 or so people that called or sent in stories, they picked me as one of the 4 contestants. So I got the phone call, so I got to go on air with them and spend about 20 minutes telling them my story. And they were laughing, and at one point I got called a real American hero. So that's pretty cool.
Kudos.
Yeah, it's not for what you think though. So it's their Shark Week episode. They have something I want for us to do eventually if we get big enough again to where we have enough base listeners to where we can have private exclusive shows maybe for listeners to pay to get behind the scenes stuff or whatever. They have something called BDMs, which are, I won't say the acronym, but it's a group of people that pay them money to listen to extra private content that's just for their private paid listeners. And that was one of those shows.
Sorry, I'm in a sexual frame of mind when you're saying all this right now. I don't know why. Anyway,
yeah,
continue.
BDM, BDSM, yeah.
BDM private.
But anyway, yeah. So I took second. Now, first place won this really elaborate, over-the-top Shark Week trophy with all of your name engraved in gold. It's a glass, like a really nice piece, a really good work of art by one of their sponsors over there. But yeah, it's all etched in gold and brown paint. So it looks really, really gross. But of course, I did not win that. The guy that won that told this heart-wrenching story, and I'll tell his real quick.
Fart-wrenching.
Yes, he was 12 years old. I'm paraphrasing the hell out of the story down to nothing, but he was 12 years old. He was on a school field trip in a school bus going like somewhere, and on his bus was also a bunch of cheerleaders, and he got his bubble guts, man. He farted and it wasn't a fart, so he went back to the bathroom and just blew the bathroom up. Well, as a 12-year-old boy, you definitely don't want to do that on a bus full of kids and cheerleaders. So the cheerleaders, it was so bad, it stunk apparently so bad in the bus, the cheerleaders all started a cheerleader chant, and they were naming him for making the bus smell like diarrhea. Think about this for a 12-year-old kid. So how devastating is that for a 12-year-old boy?
Terrible.
Yeah. And he said he hid under his towel and cried the entire ride home. And then to top it all off, the icing on the cake is his parents forgot to pick him up. So he was there, shit-ass himself there at the bus stop at his school waiting for his parents to pick him up hours late.
He definitely needs that trophy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I bow, and I concede my story. Mine was just debauchery.
Or maybe he's now going to need therapy because every time he walks into his den or man cave or living room, wherever this trophy goes, he's gonna be like, that horrible thing happened to me when I was a kid,
and this is what I got for it.
This is traumatic.
He did say this was when he won it. He did say this is the best worst day of my life. Oh, but anyway, so yeah, they're Tom and Dan are gonna send me something in studio. We're gonna hang it in here, so we'll have a nice friendly reminder of my shitty story that got me a T-shirt or something. I don't know what they're gonna send.
You don't know?
But yeah, I have no idea. I talked to Samantha, so she's gonna send something over, signed by all those guys.
Oh, sweet! Even better, it'll be signed.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah,
go up on our look at me wall.
Actually, we don't have that. We don't have one here yet. Yeah, we gotta set something up in here.
Maybe
we'll
by
do
the
that.
stairs.
Yeah,
the ceiling.
So like when people come down, the ceiling would be good.
Andrea had a great idea for the ceiling in here. Instead of doing the black, what do you call it? Like egg crate style foam for the roof here. Andrea had an idea of doing drop tile ceiling. And then any guests that we have come in, just like at Tijuana Flats, let them paint a tile however the hell they want. And it's just up in there until perpetuity, until we change it out with another one from another guest that comes in. I think that's a cool idea.
Crafty.
That would be cool.
Or just put a bunch of crap up there.
Spitballs.
Well, make it like
stickers, T-shirts.
A TGI Friday.
Have
a Cracker Barrel. Have an old washboard in one corner. And
wagon wheel.
Only if it has to do with another podcast.
Well, or bands. I mean, I would love to have band stickers and stuff in here.
You're going to put a band up there?
Yeah, we're just going to nail Truphonic to the ceiling. Bolt him right up there.
Yeah, Jake is stoked. I talked to him a little bit more. He's ready to come in. So from Jake from Truphonic.
Nice. Can we schedule him next week? Let's do it.
I'll talk to him because he wants to bring the boys in too. So we're not really set up to take. I mean, for Jason sitting in here as a guest, we can work it out because I've got one extra cable, but we really need good mic stands so our guests don't have to hold a mic. So we need a couple more things in the studio yet.
So you would house a band then in this area over here?
Yeah, I don't know yet. That's right under Abby's room. So I don't know. I don't know if I would want to actually do a band in here. I don't know what we would do for that yet. I don't think we would ever really be able to host a full band in here. Maybe an acoustic guitar.
Like an acoustic set?
Yeah, maybe.
We'll
see.
We could talk about it, but if we wanted to do that, we could also coordinate it with Margaret.
For what?
Taking Abby over there for a while.
Oh. Yeah,
solves the baby noise problem.
No, I mean, that's true. Depends on the time we're recording, I guess. We'll figure that out. But anyway.
Shit, Abby will just join in. Are you kidding?
Abby will want to come down and
party. She'll want to come play an instrument.
Well, after we get our room done, she'll be up higher.
That's a good point. That's a good motivation for me. I see what you're doing over there. Finish the kitchen, finish our master bedroom, Adam, get on the ball.
Hint.
Yeah, no
Jesus, shit. I felt that nudge from over
here.
Speaking of Jake, not necessarily Jake from Truphonic, but Jake from State Farm. Yeah, that wasn't really a joke. I was driving down 50 down here, and I just happened to stop at a stoplight, and I looked right, and there was a State Farm place there. And I kid you not, the sign on their thing says, yes, Jake from State Farm, the Jake from State Farm works here.
I saw that too.
You seen that?
Claimed fame.
I wonder if that's really where he works, or maybe he once visited there.
Or there's just a guy named Jake who works at State Farm.
You think it's just a joke, just to get you in the door,
like a marketing ploy?
No, it was like a vinyl thing outside.
Jake is he? Yeah, it's probably just a dude named Jake that works there.
It's a marketing campaign, and they probably designate a Jake in the office. There's no one named Jake, but today you're going to be Jake.
Whoever's wearing
brilliant.
khakis.
It's brilliant. I mean, that makes me. We have State Farm anyway for our auto insurance. However, that was an unintentional plug. However, I want to go in there just to see if it's really him. Be like, what's up, dude?
Go get a selfie, put it on Facebook.
I would do that in a heartbeat. You know what? Fuck it. That's an objective between now and the next recording. One of us has to go down there and see if it's really him, and if it is, get a photo for Instagram for the show.
Do you see him in the commercial?
Yeah, So how the whole commercial goes when the wife picks up the phone,
does it like cut over?
Hi, Jake. Like, hi, quote, hi, Jake. What are you wearing? And then it cuts over, and you see him at a cubicle. And he's like, khakis. He sounds hideous. Yeah, so you do see him for a split second. So his only word is khakis, and that's all you really get to see of him. But that'd be great.
Maybe we can make it like a summer vacation thing for the kids. Instead of an amusement park, we'll go
go
over
see
to
Jake.
State Farm.
Jake. Turn it into a scavenger hunt thing.
Oh, amusement parks.
Oh, amusement parks.
Oh, that was a good one. That was good. I wasn't paying attention. That's my fault.
Catch that drift.
So, we're getting another theme park in Orlando. It's called Epic Universe. And the only real thing that I know about it so far is that it's going to have 14,000 jobs coming to Orlando.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's bigger than all of the current Universal Studios property.
But who owns it?
I don't know.
I think Josh, my son upstairs, told me that Universal is going to be the one doing it.
Are they doing it?
Yeah.
I
Universal?
Think
it's going to be another Universal park, yeah. But not like an expansion of what they've got, a brand new theme park.
What do they own now?
Oh,
like,
God,
what is their IP? Like, what are they going to do with it that they aren't already doing at Universal Studios?
I don't know. I'll tell you what, we'll look during the break online, see if we can see what else they could potentially bring in. Because Universal owns rights to lots of really cool material. So you can imagine it could be anything. But yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question. Wow. But fuck theme parks, though. Geez, $150 or $160 to go to Disney for 1 day per person.
But you gotta meet people. I mean, everyone's got the hookup. If you live here,
you got them free Disney tickets.
Yeah, you know somebody.
Yeah, I know a couple people.
Yeah, no shit.
I am on a hardcore theme park boycott
because of the price.
It's not so much about the price per se. I mean, the price is a big part of it. It's more about the value. Like the only time I can really go is on the weekends, like everybody else in Central Florida. And for me to go, Margaret and I and our daughter, that's $450. And nuts. We're going to get 5 rides if it's a good day.
That's what bothers me, Mr. Wilson.
It's the value thing, right?
You get in there and then you're packed in like sardines. They don't put a cap on their capacity. They don't have a capacity. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know they say they do, but man, the way they pack people in like that, and it's miserable.
They do have a capacity.
For the value.
It's when their bank account hits that full meter. When ding, you're full. You can't take any more money. They should
have a parade when that happens and let everybody know.
Yeah, it's but the one park that I will go to is Aquatica because nobody ever goes there. And you can just sit on a beach that's clean and they've got a wave pool, which is neat.
Did you see the wave pool in China that like fucked people up? It malfunctioned.
Did it hurt their China eyes?
Did it hurt their eyes? Did it get their eyes?
How did I miss that? How did I miss that beat? No. Yeah, a lot of people I don't think anybody got killed, but the damn wave generator malfunctioned and it threw this fucking tsunami in the wave pool. And it just, I felt bad laughing because it was bad, but you see like little kids with the floaties just, they're just gone. I mean, it sent this crashing tsunami of.
I thought it was because an employee got drunk.
I saw an article said it malfunctioned. I don't know.
I saw an article where the employee was drunk.
What was he drinking?
Sake.
Wait,
that's Chinese.
That's too easy.
That's Japanese. Might be.
That's too easy.
They're neighbors.
What was he drinking in China? But Budweiser, probably.
Probably Smirnoff.
Close by. Yeah. Oh goodness.
No, I worked for Disney. It was my first job. I applied to be a bagger at Publix when I was 16. They hired at 16 back then.
Do they not anymore?
What's that?
Do they not anymore?
No, 18 is the
Oh, I thought they would
Almost.
hire at 14 now.
Nope.
Man, what do teenagers do?
Publix.
Publix, but Publix never called. So like I applied, they never called. I was living in Titusville, and I went and auditioned for Disney, and I worked there off and on for 8 years.
What were you doing? Like guest relation type work or
No,
behind
entertainment.
it?
Entertainment.
Oh,
Who was
performer.
Peter Pan?
What?
Peter
And he
Pan
was
was a friend
Doug.
of mine. Was a friend of mine.
You were Doug?
Yeah, that was my big
Like-
gig. That was
like-
my professional gig.
Is that like one of the Lost Boys, or is
Do
this?
do 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 do.
Do you recognize the theme?
I do. Oh, that
The
Doug.
cartoon.
That cartoon.
Got it.
Yeah, Doug was on Nickelodeon, and then ABC picked it up. And as soon as ABC picked it up, ABC owns Disney, or Disney owns ABC.
You were a pork chop too, weren't you?
I was. It's a long story. We can.
The sock puppet.
No, Doug's
that's
dog.
Lamb Chop.
That's
Man,
Lamb Chop.
I'm
Yeah.
Sherry Lewis.
Batting 1,000.
Started off with China Eyes. You started
Mr.
it off that
Wilson,
way.
what's up?
That may be the name of the episode. Is China Eyes? Nah, that may be.
Jason,
Maybe
I'm
that would get us in trouble.
I'm so unbelievably hungover. Absurd.
It's all
I
good.
almost bailed.
No, don't bail.
That's why I'm
Anyway,
here.
we are laughing it off. Laugh it off. No, but the experience was great. I mean, at 16, I was around a bunch of adults and learning about things that a 16-year-old shouldn't be learning about in the Magic Kingdom tunnel.
Yeah, but oh, really?
Wow.
There's more things that are magical in there
Oh,
other than the
jeez.
characters.
Back in '96,
Yeah.
I don't know how it is now. I'm sure they've cracked on it.
You were 16 in '96.
16 and '96.
Well, we're the same age. Hey, you fucker. We're the same age then. I didn't realize we were the same age. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be 40 in April.
Oh, yeah, I just turned 40. Oh, cool.
Anyway, yeah. So
God, my memory sucks. I know we talked about this once before.
because
too.
you're old.
Yeah, yeah. They say there's two things that go with old age: memory and what were we talking
Erection.
about? Yeah. No, I'm good there. I don't have a problem in that department.
ED.
Yeah, no,
No.
I'm all right there.
No problem at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they have anything like that, like for ED at Walmart.
Yeah, now that Viagra's like free, or like anybody can make it. It's not free, but now anybody can make Viagra.
Anybody can. It's just some dude sitting in Titusville in his basement. Well, in his garage, he's got a
Yeah.
meth lab converted into a Viagra lab.
Yeah.
Way more profit, man.
Like, yeah.
I heard. Yeah,
'Cause
about
I-
the Walmart.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be cool like Andrea Joy.
When is this Universal place supposed to open?
Oh, that's like really all I know about it.
Oh, okay. Just preliminary. That'd be
Yeah.
cool. That's just one more thing we need in Central Florida is another theme park. But
Yeah,
you know
spread
what?
out.
Fuck it. Tourists, come on down. That's hey,
That's
he
how
gives
we
us
live.
no taxes. I mean, well, no income tax at least. So yeah, I'm all right with that. State income tax.
Well, I have some unrelated cool stuff that I learned this week that
Whoa.
I'm just not even gonna like try to segue into it. I'm just gonna hard
Hard break.
a new
Hard
topic.
new
Yeah.
topic.
So it's kind of unfortunate, but please everybody get back into the habit of like washing your hands when you go to the bathroom.
Uh-oh.
Like, before you
Get
prep
back in the
food.
habit.
So I'm
What?
saying- I just like nobody's
When
on-
did it stop?
Everyone stopped.
Did
Nobody's
it become
100% about it.
uncool?
Did you bust me doing something? What
Nah,
did I?
Nah, you know what? I have a stance on that. I don't wash my hands after I go to the bathroom because my dick is dirty. I wash my hands when I go to the bathroom because I touched a whole bunch of other shit before I touched my dick, and all of that was dirty.
Okay, that's fine.
But so we're having a mysterious hepatitis A outbreak.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, like I'm gonna throw some numbers at you. In 2018, in its entirety, we had like 538 confirmed cases of Hep A in the state. Already this year, we are over 2,000,
Holy crap!
and nobody knows why. And it's not. And hepatitis A is not like a needle sharing kind of drug. It's not like a drug problem, but it's like someone who is a carrier doesn't wash their hands. They
Yeah,
handle food. You
sanitation
eat the food, you get
issue.
it, Yeah,
But if you are sharing needles, be sure to also wash your hands too.
that's true.
Please
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Watch
Please
the
do.
needle.
Wash the needle.
Always wash it.
between-
Well, you just spit on it; it'll
Don't
be fine.
share the needle.
And what you do is you pump in some hand sanitizer into your mouth, spit it on the needle. Sorry, took
That's
that too
not-
far.
yeah, that's good.
So so let's back up. Hep A, there's Hep A, Hep B, Hep C.
Mhm.
Hep C is
I don't know how to answer that
I
question.
don't know.
What about it?
Well, okay, so
Hep C is what a lot of celebrities have. I know that. There's several celebrities that
is that the sexually transmitted one? Hep C?
from my understanding, yes, because that's like what's the dude who got naked on the boat with a blonde chick?
Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee, yeah. So he had Hep C.
Yeah.
So, well, you know what? I'm gonna get sued for fucking defamation. I don't. Let me look that one up real quick.
I don't
Why
know.
don't you just ask Alexa?
That's a great call. Alexa, what celebrities have hepatitis C?
Are you sitting down?
Here's something I found from the article list of people with hepatitis C on Wikipedia.
Oh God, this is gonna be long.
A number of celebrities diagnosed with the disease have decided to go public in order to raise awareness about
Just
hepatitis
tell me the fucking
C
name.
and to encourage more
Pretty
people
good
to
at
get
that.
tested for the disease. Did that answer your question?
No,
It's going as well as last time.
Thanks for your feedback.
bitch. All right. Well, you know what? At least she's talking to us now.
No, it's pretty cool. So I saw you point the mic towards it.
Yeah.
It's actually wired in.
Oh, it's wired in.
Yeah, we're
so
wired in.
Actually, you can talk to it through your mic. You don't have to yell across the room.
Alexa, I
Yeah.
love you. Alexa. Alexa, don't give me Hep C.
Actually, I don't know if the mic is wired in. The mic is still her mic.
Oh, was it?
She's
Yeah.
listening still.
But yeah, the mic is her mic, but her
Mic is her
output
mic.
comes to all the podcast.
So Hep B is like maybe hereditary. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I know that hepatitis C is the one that's usually transmitted as an STD or
Or needle sharing.
or needle sharing. That's its predominant way of getting transmitted because
Bodily
it's like
fluids.
Exactly.
Oh, Anthony Kiedis has Hep C.
Who's that?
Oh.
Really?
We can play this game again. I suck at this.
Hey,
Um,
Alexa, who's Anthony Kiedis? Sorry, I'm like obsessed now.
Under the Bridge?
Anthony Kiedis is an American musician, singer, songwriter, rapper, and actor. He is best known as the lead vocalist of the Red Hot Chili Peppers
Huh.
and has appeared on every album released by the band.
Thank you,
Kiedis
Alexa.
and his fellow band members were inducted into the Rock
Alexa,
and Roll
stop.
Hall of Fame in
Steven Tyler, Naomi Judd, Natasha Lyonne, Christopher Kennedy Lawford.
Really?
Yeah.
Russian Doll is awesome.
David
Plug.
Crosby, Natalie Cole, Anthony Kiedis. Why, man? All right. Anyway, yeah, I don't see Tommy Lee in that list, but yeah, there's several of them that are. So don't sue me, Tommy Lee.
Retract that, Tommy Lee.
It's really unfortunate. And the biggest, just to emphasize it again, like hepatitis A just passes from being unclean. So just like wash yourself, wash your hands. You know.
Speaking of things you wash,
Whoa.
Whoa.
about the shampoo
Vaginas?
at Walmart.
Oh, you are on it tonight. That
Damn.
was so good.
Keeping
Okay.
this boat ashore.
So I'm gonna throw
afloat.
another. So you guys heard about the whole ice cream thing a few weeks ago that blew up on the
Licking
Tell me
the
about
ice
it.
cream.
Tell me about
yeah.
it. Tell me about it, quick.
Yeah, no, short version. It became like a viral thing to do on social media where people going into a grocery store, opening up ice cream, licking it, closing it, and leaving. Disgusting.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Hepatitis A, right?
I actually second thought about buying.
Why?
The boot.
That's why there's so many cases of hepatitis.
I actually second thought about buying. Oh God, that's hard to say. Buying the Bluebell container of her Rocky Road the other night because it looked like a big tongue. It licked it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it has the extra paper on top.
No, it doesn't. Bluebell is you rip the top off and you go to town. There's no seal. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
It was good.
No, it's another one that went down this road. That it's. I don't think it has like fully caught on as a viral thing, fortunately. But people were going into Walmart and they were replacing the shampoo with hair remover.
What, like
Nair?
Nair?
They were putting Nair in the
Jinx
shampoo
Yumiko.
bottles.
Oh.
No shit.
Oh yeah, so I guess just like smell your shampoo, I suppose.
That is interesting that you
Or
say that because
don't buy your shampoo at Walmart. Buy professional products because those are good for your hair. Come see me at Brent Allen's Salon and Day Spa, and I can hook you up with some Paul Mitchell.
I have to use a specific type of shampoo, and I was noticing it's funny that you bring this up because when I got a new bottle the other week, last week, and I noticed like there's no
Yeah, no seal.
seal on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, that's weird. What if someone did something to the shampoo?
They never have
Dun,
seals.
dun,
That's crazy.
There's
Um,
so many products. I mean, even if you think about just typical produce, your produce could get fucked with very easily.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's things that you can't. What?
I'm so sorry. So
Another one?
it was the same segment. I was listening to the radio is where that came up. Is how I found out about it. And they also mentioned that a lady, somewhere in Orlando, I forget where, but this lady
Yes.
was arrested
Yes.
because she went into the grocery section and she took a piss on some vegetables.
On the potatoes.
Is that what it was?
On the
yeah.
potatoes.
I
she
was
went
hoping
in-
for a better story with an eggplant, buddy. I was really hoping for something better.
Wow.
That was what happened when her cousin came in later
Oh, yeah.
and got the eggplants.
All right.
Is that better?
Much better.
You know what she did have too?
What?
China eyes.
Josh, you're not living that down.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry, buddy.
I'm
But
good with
wait
that.
a minute. Why did she piss on the potatoes?
She was drunk.
Oh, wow.
She was wasted. That was the takeaway when they arrested her.
Wow.
Public indecency, public intoxication. It's
Pissing
a
on
felony
potatoes.
to tamper with food.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the formal is, but yeah. It's just, why you gotta fuck with people's stuff? It's just
Leave
like,
it alone.
right?
Don't touch.
Everyone's bored. That's why. Everyone's just bored out of their minds.
Well, let's take a break in studio. Andrea Joy is going to go upstairs and pee on our potatoes. So when we come back, you're going to hear about Artemis.
Oh, I need rest. Been up a few days, now I feel it in my chest. Nothing is for certain, so I wonder what's next. And if it ain't for the fame, guess I'm working for respect. I'm working for respect. Oh, tell me what I'm singing for. But did the meaning just slip my mind? Oh, I wish someone had told me the money don't buy me time. Now I walk behind my own lead. Now I finally got my way. But if they tell you that is easy, oh, it gets harder every day. Oh, tell me what I'm singing for. But did the meaning just slip my mind? Oh, I wish someone had told me the money don't buy me time. All my days are slaved away. I fear I've made myself insane. Oh, tell me what I'm singing for.
Oh, yeah. So that is Money Don't Buy Me Time by Jake Salter and the boys over at Truephonic.
So good.
So good.
I'm so glad they put their
I'm gonna
music
get-
on Spotify.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, but I can't ever get Spotify to pick it up on this device.
Oh, really?
Are they
Yeah.
on iTunes as
I
well?
was just plugging them.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
gotta
use the
get that.
Superior phone.
What did you say? Wait, what did you
Sure.
say?
I said I use the Superior phone.
Oh, Android?
Whatever.
Oh, that's an ongoing contention in my household, Apple versus Android. But anyway, all right. So I see something going into the break. Jason, let's ask you. You're a guest tonight.
Am I?
Let's talk Greek mythology for a minute.
Yes.
Do you know who Artemis was in Greek mythology?
I don't, but my only reference to Artemis is Artemis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
All right,
You
all
know
right.
her? Yeah,
Yeah.
she's amazing. Anyway.
Artemis was the Greek. She's the Greek twin, the Greek god mythology. Oh, excuse me. Good break snacks. Artemis was the Greek in Greek mythology. Artemis was the twin sister to Apollo.
Oh.
So, what hit the news here recently with regards to Apollo but the 50 years of the anniversary for the Apollo space missions back in the 60s.
That's a big deal around here.
Yeah, it's
There's
huge.
parades and shit.
Yeah,
it.
and huge in Houston, huge. I mean, several places around the U.S. that support, have supported Apollo and supported NASA and those contracts. Well, so Josh and I have had some unique ties into the space community because of where we've worked. Neither one of us work in the space agency right now. However, we've spent 5 years together. We've probably spent about 8 years working for NASA or for contracts for NASA. One of the contracts for NASA that they're building right now is the SLS, is a Space Launch Systems rocket, which is basically the replacement for the shuttle. So the shuttle no longer happens, thanks Obama. Now we've got this new SLS rocket that's up and coming and has yet to be completed, but they're destined to launch in late 2020 or early 2021, one of the two.
So the last launch date I heard was June of 2020.
Yeah,
But I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think June of 20. I think it's going to be later than that in the year 2020. And all that first launch, it used to be called EM1. Now it's called the Artemis 1. So Jim Bridenstine, he's the head director for NASA, has dubbed the new name behind the missions that are going to take U.S. citizens back to the moon and then eventually on to Mars, actual feet on the ground. He's dubbed these missions Artemis to kind of support the Apollo names. Yeah, it's really cool.
Back to Mars.
Well, back to the moon and then onto Mars. Yeah, so it's really pretty cool. So it's not just the rocket.
Yeah.
It's the rocket plus a lunar gateway. And I know this might be boring to some people, but to me and to Josh and to a bunch of people in this community, it's really cool.
To you people, I say suck and listen.
Yeah. But they're building, so think of a mini space station. So our space station now, the ISS, orbits the Earth. All right, and Russians, we go ride on a Russian rocket get up to the space station, do our tests and our experiments and whatever, and then we come back down with that Soyuz, with that capsule, back to Earth. So that's the big part that the U.S. is missing right now, is the ability to put a man or woman, whatever, in space from U.S. soil. It's a national pride thing. So these missions are going to send astronauts from U.S. soil here at Kennedy Space Center right here to this gateway, this space station that will be orbiting the moon. So it's not going to be orbiting the Earth like our ISS is now. It's going to be another space station. It's called the Lunar Gateway, that's going to be basically hovering around or orbiting around the moon. There's another contract that NASA has already awarded and the work is already underway. There is a group of companies that will literally ferry you from that space station to the surface of the moon and back. So think of it like an Uber in space. So you catch your rocket from the SLS or from whoever to that gateway, and then this other company that's up there will orbit you or will land you down on the moon and pull you back up. And then you hop back on your rocket and come back home. That fucking cool.
Yeah,
that's really neat.
This is the 21st century. I have those moments where like, wow, this is really the 21st century. That makes me feel like that right now. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
It's future stuff, man. I mean, it's
happening.
in our lifetime. We're most likely going to see feet on the ground on Mars. We're for sure within what Trump's agenda here is, and this is a little bit political, but not really. He has what's the word? He has directed NASA to have a vehicle touch ground and human feet from the U.S. soil to step on the moon before or by the end of 2024. Ironically timed with the end of his presidential term if he gets elected again in 2020. So that's his agenda, and he set that forth to NASA, and he's thrown billions of dollars at him. Go get it. Go do it. I want it to happen. And I mean, that's basically all that NASA needs is money. That's all that it is.
They should send Stanley Kubrick.
I stand. We've talked about this before on here too. I don't think the problem is money with us getting our space program to advance. I think we're going down the right path by having so many commercial companies working on their own space programs, their own little different components and stuff like that. I mean, now Virgin Galactic, right? So Jason, for $250,000, you can spend 90 minutes. No, it's a 90-minute flight, but you can go to the edge of space and back. And basically, it looks like a really super sci-fi fancy jet. And they'll fly you out of the atmosphere. You'll flip around. You can see the Earth, and then you can see space, and then they take you right back down to land. $250,000. You can become an astronaut. right now. That exists. You can sign up.
Can I
wanna
do that,
know-
Andrea?
I want to know what you wear to this thing, though. Like, what do you wear?
Damn it. Son of a bitch.
What do you wear on a mission like that?
Diapers.
Glitter.
I would have diapers
Yeah,
on. Yeah.
And
'Cause I would.
glitter.
You would too for that shart thing.
And Good throwback.
Man, and he doesn't even know the story.
Oh, Jason, is a bad story. It's bad.
You
I'll
have to tell
send you
me.
the MP3. It's pretty bad. But yeah, so that's supposed to be happening here very, very soon. Josh and I worked on a piece of that whole contract, which is cool because we can say we've had hands on that contract to support these launches. We did software support for the SLS. So basically the software where you're sitting in the firing rooms where all the engineers and the really smart people that are going to launch this motherfucker,
Yeah.
they're all sitting in the firing rooms, all watching their little gizmos and gadgets on the screen talk to the vehicle. And that's what we supported, was a lot of the software that tied the vehicle to their custom written software. So that's some of the stuff that we did. We also worked for NASA Direct doing other stuff too, but that was directly a hands-on with the SLS, which was really fun. It was really cool.
I may be going a little out there with this, but I think it's very poetic about the Artemis, knowing now that that Artemis was Apollo's twin sister. Just the climate of the world and the rise of feminism, not even feminism, just femininity, and having that name represent the new space mission.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
actually,
very interesting.
to that end, you're the one who told me this, but
Yep.
the first astronaut who's going to step on Mars, assuming it's our American program that does it, will be a female.
Yeah.
They're doing that on
Fantastic.
purpose. It will be a woman to step on Mars first.
And the first
Fantastic.
mission that goes back to the moon in 2024, where we'll have American astronauts stepping out to step on, part of that crew will also be the first woman to place feet on the moon. So yeah, they're
Fantastic.
driving this very, very harsh to be a, very politically correct and, equitable mission. I mean, obviously it's back in the 60s when this stuff was going on. I mean, it was very misogynistic.
It's so male.
Yeah, it's it's unbelievably dominated by males and
course.
ego. That's the
Yeah.
egotistic driven misogyny of the 60s is what drove that whole program.
Yeah.
Well, now, I mean, it's obvious. The engineers, there is no disadvantage to gender or to genitalia. It doesn't matter, what you got down there. If you're smart enough to do what you got to do
It
in
matters
space,
what you
then-
got up here.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. There was a movie that one of my friends from high school wrote, and it was regarding the African American women in the 60s that were really like the brainchild behind a lot of those missions. God, do you know what? We talked about this once before.
We've talked about it. We looked it up. We've watched excerpts from it. And I'm drawing a total blank.
I can picture it in my head with the three women on
Yeah.
the front.
Well, her name was Allison Schroeder. She was the writer. She might have a different last name now. I'm looking it up real quick. Yeah, there she is. American screenwriter. All right, there it is. So she co-wrote this. I used to be in drama with this girl. She's I used to swing dance in drama class back in the day,
Nice.
and she was my Eddie partner. So she was the one that I would lift vertical straight up over my head during swing dances because she was a tiny little itty bitty thing. So yeah, it was really cool. She was a nice girl. Allison Schroeder, American screenwriter. She co-wrote the film Hidden Figures. That's the name of the show.
Writing that down.
Yeah, it's really good.
And it was received very well. Won award.
Oh yeah,
winning.
Academy
Yeah.
Award winning. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. That's too much to look up during the show, but yes, I think it is. Yeah, go check out Hidden Figures. It's a really good show.
That's cool.
But-
anyway, yeah. So that's a great story. Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
information. I would never have known.
Go read up on. I mean, if you're big into space, and I memean, hell, part of the reason I tried to persuade Andrea to let me buy this house was this area is just going to absolutely explode
It
in
will.
growth. I mean, I'll just briefly touch on it too in this area. So part of the thing that's happening out of the Space Center is a ballistic missile headquarters that's being brought here. Lockheed Martin just announced like a week ago that they're bringing their ballistic missile headquarters from California to Titusville, Florida. So we have Lockheed bringing a headquarters here. We have Boeing bringing a
that's who it
headquarters to little old Titusville. to Titusville, Florida.
Yeah, Titusville needs it.
They're bringing like 1,400 jobs for one of those and like another 2,400 jobs for another. It's just going to explode in this area. Ooh, bad choice of words for ballistic missile contract. That was unintentional.
Explode, yeah, it's a bad word for a space. Anything.
Oops.
It's crazy.
But
Like all. Maybe it's because of where we're at. We hear about all this cool space stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you can, when you die, you can fire your ashes into space.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
It's
absurd.
incredible. It's amazing, actually. Now you're bringing that up. What you can do with ashes. I saw this brief documentary on the Roku. I don't want to drop anything out. I'm not supposed to.
Anytime you
All
drop
right.
something on the show, we have a plug bell. We'll throw it out
That's
there.
fine. We'll say Roku, and we'll say whatever. Maybe they'll give us.
Yeah, Roku, if you're listening.
Hey, we would
I
love
like
to have
your
a Roku.
stuff.
Yeah, we would have a Roku device in studio streaming all the time. It's just
That'd be great.
Yeah, we leave it on.
So Roku has this channel called Topic, and they feature different documentaries, kind of artsy fartsy stuff. And I came across this piece, brief piece, about 15 minutes, where there's a chap, Jason Leach is his name, in Britain, who specializes, and his job is to press ashes, your burnt remains, into a vinyl record.
That's so.
Isn't that crazy?
Really?
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So it gets into it, and so they kind of give it to you. You know, they spoon feed it to you. So I'm like, oh, that's neat. And he's like, one of the great quotes I thought, or that he said, I thought that was interesting, was like, yeah, you know, so when you're listening to it, every crackle and every pop is your relative.
That's
But then
crazy.
it went on to say that you can record. So you can record, you know, if you know that your loved one is going to be passing soon or whatever, or yourself, you can record anything you want that can be on the record.
I was gonna say, did you have to pay like copyright, like license fees? Like if I
No.
want to have Sublime Santeria on there, do I have to
Right.
pay for that?
I don't know. I
What, are
don't
they
know.
gonna sue you? I mean,
That's a good point.
I don't want to be pressed onto Thriller. You know, you know, like you record whatever you want, so you'll have your voice immortalized too on a vinyl record, in addition to having your ashes pressed into it. Isn't that
Damn.
interesting?
So I'll put it on the
That's
podcast
neat.
now. If I die anytime soon, I want this episode of Living Podcariously etched into a record for me of my ashes. Andrea, you gonna make that happen for me?
I was going to turn you into a diamond so I can get my kitchen done.
hell yeah.
Wait a minute.
Trade you in pawn him.
You're gonna have me incinerated, and then you're gonna take those ashes, form me down into a diamond, and then sell, like, pawn the diamond, and you know,
Yes.
get the money for it.
Yes.
Get the
So-
kitchen done.
My eternal soul will be sitting on some bum on 520's finger when he goes and steals stuff out of the pawn shop. Is that what's gonna happen?
I mean, it'd be sitting on a shelf. At least you'll get out.
No,
Yeah,
because
it's
if
an
the bum
adventure.
stole that from the pawn shop, he would just pawn it somewhere else to get cash.
So I'm just in an eternal loop of. So that's what purgatory is. Okay, great. I understand now.
Now you know.
Just being the fly on the wall
beautiful.
for
So-
a homeless person.
What do they have, like a separate section in the pawn shop where all of the cremation diamonds go? Where you're sitting on like a shelf next to George, and there's some other guy named Bob. And I mean, what if your soul is somehow trapped in there, and you can like converse with those neighbors you've got there now?
Couldn't
I
you
mean,
imagine just like a Sharpied out, like on an 8.5 by 11 paper, just cremation diamonds here? So funny.
it's the weirdest section to buy shit from. You get all the creeps coming in there, like, oh, what kind of shit is inside this one? Oh, there's got to be a story here.
That also makes me think about okay, so tattoos. People invest so much into tattoos. So, like, what do you do? For example, my mother has a couple of tattoos on her shoulders. Really beautiful. One's a dragonfly that has my sister and my name on it. The other is a dedication to her grandmother. So, what can you have the tattoo cut off
There's a guy who does that.
of the body and have it leathered
yeah.
and framed?
Oh.
There's a guy who does exactly that. I've seen him on
Really?
YouTube. Yeah. Watched him on YouTube. It's,
I thought this was an
gross.
original
Yeah.
idea.
He cuts them off dead bodies?
I mean, not like any dead body.
Of course, I guess you wouldn't want them cut off of a live body.
You would have.
that's a little.
It's just, it's
you would
part
have
of
to
the-
have it commissioned.
Yeah, it's
to
just part
do.
of the process. And they take it and they embalm it and they basically stretch it and pin it in like a shadow box. And
Yeah.
It's like really tastefully done.
Ew.
Yeah.
preserve the art
It just
once they're
sounds
dead.
gross to have skin on your wall.
That's Silence of the Lamb shit.
Yeah,
That's
that's
weird.
creepy. Oh, speaking of that, that's what I'm going to decorate our walls in here with in the studio.
Skin?
Yes, skin.
Tattoo skin.
Ew, you might as well just
Yum.
like hang some dead fish up there.
Do you have any tattoos, Jason?
I do.
You have some? So Andrea
I have
and I
one.
are virgin tattoos. We have none. Neither one of us.
Oh.
Nothing. Not a single piece of ink on us.
I have
Josh has
one.
got a ton.
I got a few.
You've got like 6, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5.
I've seen you naked. All right.
Huh.
I know there's 6. How many do you have?
I just have the one.
1?
Yeah, it's in my pelvic region.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, hang on a minute. I didn't know. This is new news. What? I've known you for a long time,
there's,
Jason.
There's a story attached to it, but maybe I'll save that for a different time.
Oh, that is the biggest cliffhanging teaser I've ever heard.
AKA, I'm not going to share it.
I always wanted to meet a girl that had a tattoo on her inner thigh that says "baby on board."
Oh, God.
I thought that would be great.
Wow.
I stole that from a comedian from like the 80s.
Oh. Okay,
I don't know where it came from.
So you guys know Sully, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have met him. So he is a fine arts major graduate from USF, and as one of his final pieces, one of his finals, I guess whatever. So one of the last things they had to do, he had to do some sort of piece to showcase the current state of the art community, and he did this in total secrecy. But he went and got the word art in like Times New Roman boring font, the word art tattooed on his butt cheek.
Yes!
Okay.
That's awesome.
brilliant!
So he goes through everything. He goes through the healing, and he like won't tell the teacher what he's doing, and he's like, it's like super hush. And when the day it was his last class, the last time they had to go, he had to present his piece and then leave, and he would get his grade later online. So he walked into class, and he walked into the front of the class, fucking dropped his pants, and walked out of the room. And that was his art piece.
Oh,
Wait, did he like
man.
shuffle walk with his pants at his ankles, or did he like take them off and leave
Took them off and left.
Ah,
That is brilliant.
Right.
that's pretty ingenious.
Yep.
What's his grade?
Yeah, what did he get?
He got 100. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Hey!
100%.
Congratulations, dude.
That's
well
awesome.
earned.
Damn.
It's
That
cool and I
is-
respect it.
There's so many layers to that statement.
There is. It's
Woo!
Yeah, it means I see it. I mean, art is interpreted by the perceiver or who is viewing the
Eye of
art.
the beholder, right?
So I consider that statement a piece of homogenized, downplayed, unoriginal. Now, not to him. His was great, but it's a representation of how unoriginal art has become in today's society.
And
That's
you
how
can-
I
and you
take
can
that.
kiss my ass.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, art really is all about the story, right? So like we look at the Mona Lisa. Have you guys ever seen it in person?
No.
I've seen Whistler's mother in person.
From Blade?
Oh, the actual Whistler's mother.
Sorry.
That one got me, man.
But the
You know Whistler's mother?
no.
She's sitting in the
She's,
rocking
yeah, she's
chair.
wearing a white
Oh.
bonnet.
Okay, I do know that. I didn't know the
Okay.
name of it, but I do know the
Whistler's
painting.
mother.
Oh man, that one hurt, Josh.
But so it's but the Mona Lisa is actually pretty boring, to be honest. It was very small. It's like 1.5 feet by a foot, very, very tiny canvas. It's not, and to look at it again, there's no way I could ever paint anything even remotely as good as what that piece was. But it's very boring. She's very plain. The background's very plain, but it's the story behind it. Nobody knows who she is. And as they've like done different types of camera work on it, they have found different layers to the painting. Things have changed. So they've learned more about it, but they still have no idea who she was. And at the time, he was doing like really prominent artworks and royalty and like huge people. And then to have this one person that nobody can identify, that's what makes the Mona Lisa worth
The mystery.
so much
It's
money.
also the
It's the mystery.
propaganda behind the story itself, isn't it? Isn't it because it was like people fell in love with the story of the Mona Lisa so much so, not the it's a beautiful piece of work too, but not the art as much.
Mhm.
So if you just submitted the Mona Lisa without a backstory, then it would just been another 14th century piece of art or 16th or whenever the fuck it was painted.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But it was
interesting.
So when we went, I was really excited to see the Mona Lisa. I went once when I was real little, had zero appreciation for the experience. And then I went back as an adult, and it was hyped, and there's signs for it, Mona Lisa this way, and we're like making our way through. We walk into the room, and it is fucking packed. This room is packed, and it's giant, and there's one wall in the center of the room, and it's like to give it somewhere to hang, and it's hanging there, and everyone's crowded around it, and we did our thing. We made our way to the front where we could see it at. We took our picture, whatever. It was great. And then we went to the other side of the wall, and there is a gigantic 12-foot by 14-foot huge piece of art with a ton of people in it, and there's stuff happening. And it was so much more in the way of, it was so much more impressive.
Mm.
And then so going back, we had to walk past it again. I looked back at the Mona Lisa, and I was just like, eh.
Meh. Meh.
Yeah, it's like it became the duck face selfie of 16th century art. It was just
That's a great catchphrase.
it's just
The Mona Lisa is the duck face selfie of the 1600s or whatever. Yeah, that's great.
Jesus.
Oh, that's funny.
Not to get on the art tangent, but I went to the Dali Museum for the first time
oh, how was it? I've never been.
a
Salvador
couple years
Dali.
ago.
The one out in St. Petersburg, right?
That's right. That's great. Oh my God! Sorry, I just went another tangent. in my
Do
head.
it. That's all right.
Did you ever see the body?
The bodies exhibit? Yeah, I was going to actually bring that up.
God,
I want to go see that.
I saw it years ago. It was in Orlando. Talking about tattoos and saving that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So for the
I'd
people who don't
forgotten that
know,
I did that.
for the listeners who don't know what the bodies exhibit is, this is human beings that have donated their body or donated their deceased bodies to science and culture.
Mm.
All right. So some go through a process of experimentation, some go through, whatever. Well, these bodies were donated for the purposes of art. And what these artists have done, and I say they're artists, they're really more pathologists. That's probably the best way to describe these artists.
And it's all Asian. It's all Asian.
Yeah, mostly all of it is, yeah.
Volunteers.
They, once the body is deceased, they prepare the bodies, and some are in different levels of, stripping them away of their flesh and their skin. Most of those bodies are in like muscles, so you see the muscle and the neuroskeletal systems.
Yes.
But some of them are all the way down to just like the nerves and the spine and those kinds of things. But they're in all these different stages of raw humanity.
And I believe they were injected with some sort of like polymer, like plastic.
Oh yeah,
thing. They were
shit. Otherwise, it'll just be a pile of goo.
I mean, I forget what the material was that they were injected.
Oh, to prevent the deterioration of the muscles,
to preserve
and
the tissue, but it's sort of plasticize it. Is that a word? Plasticize?
It is now.
Plasticate.
I know what you're trying to
say. So you're literally looking at their muscle tissue, but it is also hardened to where it's not going to deteriorate, or if you go up to it, it's not moist or
Right.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. Would you want to go see
incredible. Oh, it's
This reminds me of holes and stuff.
Holes. Oh man,
Andrea has that episode
that.
has a ton of downloads, by the way. I put the name of that phobia, whatever phobia,
Trichophobia?
something like that.
Is that right?
That's the phobia of tiny holes and things in them, like
I definitely don't have that.
Andrea and
It's not me. I was the
Yeah,
one
it was
who
Andrea and
I
Tack.
got yelled at for pulling up pictures.
So
the
gross.
two of them
Oh my
had
God.
that phobia. In fact, we're just talking about it now. She's getting lightheaded just because we're talking about it. It's bad.
Wait a minute, though. I don't understand.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up a picture.
Andrea, close your eyes.
And
Close your eyes.
I don't want to do this to you, Andrea. You are between us. I apologize.
Talk to us. Just don't look, Andrea.
Tell me how it makes you feel, Aunt.
They have a test where to look at pictures of it to see if you have it, and I'm not even going to take that test because that's disgusting.
She won't even take the
won't
test to
even
see if you
look.
have the phobia.
It is fascinating.
Trypophobia.
Tripo.
Okay. Could you just pass it? It's facing away from you.
So
gross.
Andrea.
I need your help.
You can't see anything.
Give me this.
Open your eyes. Open your eyes. You can't see.
There you go. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Trypophobia.
Don't
Yeah.
describe it. She'll throw up.
No, but you know what? They do it to catch people, like when they're like clickbait. I've seen them do stuff like this,
Yeah.
like those clickbait photos, and you're like, "What the hell is
What
that?"
kind of sites are you on, huh?
I said bait. Isn't that enough?
Yes.
Oh.
So
yeah, I
Andrew, you
get it.
touched a phone with holes on it. Is
wanna
that
see
okay?
my
Crack
holes?
soap is the same way.
Yeah, Andrea's got a weird one with crack soap.
I've never heard that before.
Crack soap?
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
If you have soap on, it's like old soap or whatever, and it's cracked in your sink or kitchen. Or...
Ooh, really?
Ugh. That's gross. It's so gross.
Like a nice bar of dial?
Ugh. It goes
Alright.
in the trash. if
All
it
dried
cracks.
out?
I'll save you, Andrea. So, you talking about the Salvador Dali Museum. Let me just pull that one back on the table.
Hello.
Have you ever seen the short film that Salvador Dali made with Walt Disney? Do you know they made a movie together?
Well,
Really? Oh,
wasn't
no.
Fantasia heavily inspired by Dolly?
It might have been inspired, but I don't know that. It may very well have been. He was actually on this. Like he was
an
directed
art director
this,
on it. Yeah.
and it was about his experience migrating to the U.S. and what it was like learning the U.S. culture as an artist and what he did.
You know, I feel like I have seen that, but I remember nothing about it.
Yeah, it was actually sealed away in the Disney Vault for a very, very long time, and it was only like 10 years ago or so now that they actually like brought it out and they put it on auction, and there's only a handful of real copies, of course, but then you can get like
Bootleg?
copies of it. I mean, it's actual like on a reel, like actual reels of the footage, and then you can now get digital versions that they have just captured with it.
Did you guys see what they did? They found with the old Disney Mickey Mouse cartoons. I showed this to Andrea last week, and then we ended up researching it as well to find the original clip. But it's an old 1932 clip of Mickey Mouse, and he is in a cheese factory. All right, and it's really kind of cute. The cheese starts off on this little conveyor belt, and it's cheddar cheese, and it's a block, like a triangle block of cheddar cheese. And then at the other end, where they're bagging it, another character that's unnamed or whatever. You see, obviously, Mickey's the front one. The next one is some other character bagging Swiss cheese. And he's putting Swiss cheese. So it goes from cheddar cheese to Swiss cheese. Well, what the camera does is they zoom in. Mickey is doing something to the cheese that is making it cheddar to put holes in it. And when they zoom in on it, it looks really ironically like a boner in his pants, because his hands are up here and his legs are down there, and you see this object sticking right out where his junk would be, and he is like fucking the cheese to put holes in it and moving it along. Now, of course, it's 1932. It's grainy. It looks bad, but it's very obvious that that's
It's
what it is.
fake.
Yeah, Andrea and I'm like, holy shit, Andrea, come look at this. So she came and looked. She's like, that's really bizarre. So we snoped it. And of course, it came from, I mean, it was done very, very well. But it came from this site that is known to produce these fake, old-timey style fake clips of things that never really happened.
Wow.
But I was fucking floored at first when I saw this because it looks so authentically accurate. It's.
Can you imagine the shit that the digital archaeologists are going to have to go through in like 500
to figure
years?
out what's real and what's not.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they had something back in the 2020s called fake news. This is hard for us to really interpret and figure out.
We have no idea what's real, what's true, and what's false.
Who the fuck knows
So
what happened back then?
Then they'll write a new Bible and they'll piece together whatever they want.
Yep. Well, we can talk about something real with the Guyary.
Oh, yeah. Peering into the inner thoughts and expressions of men. Women submit questions to get brutal, honest admissions. We call this the Guyary. Guyary? Really?
Hey, Tack, is that the best name we could come up with?
I miss you, Tack.
Yeah, just go with it.
Aw, I think it's adorable.
Can we man up the music a little bit or something?
I got you, buddy.
All right, our first question comes from Stacy in Florida.
Ah, Stacy.
Do I forgive my boyfriend for only hitting me once?
All right, Jason, you know the show. You know what we're supposed to do here as guys on the show. And you have a different perspective. We didn't really touch on this very much.
Right.
But you offer a different perspective into the guy atmosphere than me and Josh do.
Yeah.
Different background, different, just choices and
Yeah.
whatever. But This came out wrong.
What are you
You
trying
know
to
what I
say?
mean.
love
What
what
are
you're trying to say.
You know what I mean. You're gay. Come on. You know what
Keep-
you know what I'm trying to say.
hey, Adam, keep touching on it. All right.
I'm gonna really have to get down on my knees and grovel for forgiveness on
Just
that
give
one.
him
Huh?
those
That's right,
China
boy.
eyes.
Get down.
Give the China eyes. All right. So
Sorry.
God, I got my foot stuck out of my ass.
I thought you liked that.
No.
You told me you liked that.
I do a little bit. No, we have to give our honest. So Andrew receives questions usually from our female listeners, but sometimes from our male listeners too.
Mm-hmm.
They ask us questions to get perspectives on what we think, and our only catch into this bit is we have to tell the honest truth. And
Yeah.
our listeners are our sanity checks, because if we're gonna make some shit up just to satiate the question that came in,
Good
people
word.
will know it.
Yeah.
They'll know. Oh, he's bullshitting his way through that answer. So call a spade in this bit. That's what you do.
Okay.
So sorry, Andrea. All right.
Right,
So-
so
So from Stacy in Florida.
when is it okay to hit? Wait, say it again.
do I forgive my boyfriend for only hitting me once?
Yeah, you forgive him, and then you leave the room and call the fucking police.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
Nope, no excuse. There's never an okay time.
I'm sure if you're if you're defending yourself or your children or something like that, sure. There's certainly circumstances where you got to take somebody down, sure. But my assumption is he just made a really bad call and took his aggression and anger out on his woman, and there's no forgiveness for that. I don't think.
Either way, hitting is not the answer. That's from a guy to his girlfriend or vice versa.
Let's say if you are, I don't know, the type of person who turns to hitting somebody to solve a problem is just acting like an animal.
Guy or girl.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you say yes, so he stops hitting you, and then you go call the fucking police. That's what you do.
yeah, right away.
There's a great Phil Spector song called "He Hit Me and It Felt Like a Kiss." By the way, not to
Aw.
get off on a tangent. You should underscore that.
Phil Spector, he hit me and it felt like a kiss.
It's really sad. Anyway, no way.
All right, number 2 comes from Candace in Florida. What are some ways I can spice up my love life besides the obvious role-playing fantasies and lingerie?
Oh yeah. Bring a girl into the room as well, like a
Yeah, do
second
that.
girl.
For
yeah.
sharting?
Yeah.
What?
What? What?
Busted.
That's kind of what that story leads into.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'll let you hear it later. How else to spice up the relationship with the exception of role playing
So how do you
So
take
no
role-playing,
role-playing.
toys, and lingerie out?
and still
Okay.
spice it up?
And still spice it up.
Porn.
Yeah, throw porn on.
Yeah.
Play
Porn.
play the porn game. You just
Yeah.
copy the screen and try to last. It's like an endurance run. It's
For the
I've never done that. That sounds fun. Wait a minute.
yeah. It's,
So
it's the
whatever
porn game.
positions they're in, whatever thing they're doing on the screen, you're matching that. You're mirroring that. That's fucking great,
that sounds
Josh.
like an adult board game.
It does. Yes, it does. That sounds like a I like.
Like
I've always
play
had.
along DVD.
I've done porn where you like could turn
You've
it on to
done
watch.
porn?
No. I've never done porn. But you watch porn with your significant other to get the juice, get the motor running, whatever.
Please say
That's-
get the juices flowing.
get the juices flowing.
You started it.
I did, yeah.
I
I love that idea though. That's great.
don't want to
Just
get
think
off.
of me when you do it. That's all.
Damn it.
I don't want to get off on too far the other side, but for homos, you could go to a bathhouse together, or like an adult like movie place together
that's
and
right.
see it.
I forgot that those are a thing.
Yeah,
Porn theaters.
remember Pee Wee Herman? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Bathhouses
like,
fascinate me.
and just like go there together and see what that's like. But the thing is, this is happening more and more. I hear about the swinger culture in the streets.
Oh yeah.
And they have clubs too to go. And if
Mhm.
you go as a single male, you have to pay like $90 to get in.
most of them won't even let a single male in.
Yeah,
You can't even
you have
get
to
in.
go as a couple.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested in checking that scene out.
Tampa is very lucrative with lots of those clubs.
Swinger
lots
scene?
lots of them.
Yeah, no, they stole that from the gays.
Yeah. So can I tangent this question into something Jason was just talking about?
I guess so.
So bathhouses to me, I've heard, because you brought that
Yeah,
up, that
yeah.
was, I heard that just as I've been raised, that was something that was prominent like in the 80s and like early 90s.
70s and 80s.
70s and 80s?
Yeah.
Is that like resurging? Is that something that's becoming popular again? Or is that something that's like taboo and underground and hidden? Because I don't really hear about it now.
There are like, from what I understand, there are like 3 major chains.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Orlando has one called Club Orlando. There's Club Columbus. There's Club Cincinnati, and it's viewed and set up like a gym, primarily. But then there are like play areas. But there's a beautiful pool. There's a hot tub. It's gorgeously landscaped. So you can go and work out, get a tan, and then
I was going to say,
Get a
why
BJ.
could straight people have that? But I guess that would just be a swingers club then at that point.
Yeah,
And
there are
that's what that
swingers
would-
resorts. I've heard there's one in Kissimmee. I think there's a swingers resort.
I know where we're going on vacation next time, baby.
Whoa.
I thought we were going to go see Jake at State Farm.
Oh. Damn it. Oh.
Yeah.
So you want to spice it up? Just go be an exhibitionist. I think that's my
Ooh,
My answer.
exhibitionism.
exhibitionism.
That's good. You want
Very
Andrea?
nice,
Andrea, you
very
want to
nice.
have people watch us?
Right now?
We could. We have 2 audience members to watch us now, but
I will tell you everything that I see.
I say
ladies
I
and
am going to
gentlemen.
critique the fuck out of that. I will ruin that moment.
such a beautiful specimen blocked by his big belly. Oh well.
The exhibition and voyeurism, I mean, go hand in hand. It's fun to be watched, but it's so fun to watch. Anyway, it's my 2 bits.
That's awesome.
All right.
I'm getting horny. Wait a minute. This is weird. All right.
Number 3
Let's
is
go
from
fuck.
April and
I said let's go fuck.
right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, that's the end of the diary.
Damn, quickest diary
the
you've had.
Number 3 is from April in Florida. My boyfriend is attracted to his female friend who is sexually interested in him. I told him that this makes me uncomfortable. He was empathetic, but then went to spend time with her right afterwards. How do I stop being jealous?
That's a justifiable jealousy there. Your boyfriend is attracted sexually to his friend that is also sexually attracted to him. Guess what that is? That's justifiable jealousy in my opinion. I don't think she should have to get over the jealousy. I think that if she's in the committed relationship with this boyfriend, she needs to set ground rules.
Yeah,
Because there's obviously sexual attraction there.
I have to agree. There has to be boundaries.
Yeah, if they were just friends, because adding that she is sexually attracted to her boyfriend, yeah, whatever. Everybody's attracted to everybody except the girl that's complaining
So
here.
go to a swingers
So-
club?
I was gonna say, or just open it up.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that. There's certainly that.
Take charge.
Don't be jealous. Be sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is a recipe for disaster. I mean, it's Jesus. I don't even know. There's no advice you can really give this girl that I can see. I mean,
So I think there are 2 things that you could do with this. Either 1, set some solid ground rules. I almost never tell anybody to like put their foot down in a relationship. You're 2 adults, work it out. But that's one where you can just be like, I don't want you to do that because it's reasonable that it makes me uncomfortable. That's a total reasonable thing to do. Or you take absolute charge of that situation. You tell him that if he wants it, it's got to be on your terms. Bring her to the house and just make him super uncomfortable about the whole thing. I mean, because it would be a beautiful explosion of that relationship. It would completely
well,
fall apart.
Yeah, that would implode the relationship. Yeah, it depends on what she wants to do with this relationship. If she really loves this guy, then you have to. Unfortunately, you have to make him choose between the 2 girls, and unless it's going to be this beautiful blended relationship, you're going to have to make him choose. If he's sexually attracted to his girlfriend and to his friend, and then the girlfriend knows that the girlfriend to the fuck it.
Oh, this hurts.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're
You
saying.
can't. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
She's gonna live. If she says nothing about this, then she's gonna live the rest of her life with this guy in jealousy and anxiety.
Yeah, someone's gonna be very uncomfortable. Someone.
Or introduce him to like one of your super buff friends, and just like lay the groundwork for like, oh, he's kind of into me, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna ruin this lady's relationship. Don't listen
or
to me.
fake a
Sorry,
fake-
April.
fake an STD.
Hep-A.
Yeah.
Hep-A, it's the time.
Fake,
It's in right now.
Never a better time.
fake the STD. Just go to this girl that also is interested in your guy and say, "Look, I know you guys have a thing for each other, but if you guys get drunk and something ever happens, just understand I'm his girlfriend, but I respect you. I have herpes."
I know what she could do.
Oh, but everybody
She
has
could go
herpes,
buy
Adam.
this other
Some
girl some shampoo at Walmart.
You be careful at Walmart right now.
That's awesome.
All right, number 4 comes from Deborah in Georgia. What habit made you realize your old boyfriend, girlfriend was a candidate for marriage? Was not a candidate for marriage?
I'm going to take this one. When I found out, don't laugh yet.
I think we're each thinking of our own history of
Yeah.
men and women in our lives.
The moment that I found out that she was fucking somebody else,
Ray Brito, yes.
that was the exact moment that I realized.
Did you say Ray Burrito? Sorry.
No,
We'll segue to it.
it's yeah. So it was yeah. When I found out she was fucking other people, that's when I realized she was no longer a good candidate.
It's a
for
bad
marriage.
habit.
Yeah,
It's a bad
because
habit to have.
you know what I found out? We were together for 6 years or so, and it had been going on for like 5.5.
Oh.
Wow,
Oh,
really?
yeah.
I
Oh,
didn't know
Oh,
that.
yeah, and
I was
I've
with
gotten like
you.
names over time. On
How'd
like,
you
who it
find
was.
out?
Oh, dude,
I was with him when he found this out. In the desert, in the middle of fucking Basra, Iraq.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Of
was
all the
okay.
places.
So here's what happened. It's when we were working overseas, and I had come back to the States, and some other things had led up to it. And she was going before I had come back. She went up to New York City to go see what I thought was a high school friend to both of us, someone we both went to high school with. Cool deal. And like I knew him, and she's like, "Hey, I'm just gonna stay in his guest room, buy the ticket. I'm gonna stay with him." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, go have fun, go do your thing." But then I got home. And there were other like little habit changes, things, you notice when your significant other starts to act a little different. And I came back and I needed to use her computer for something. She went to something for school. I don't remember, but I needed it. And then I did what is it's wrong that I did it, but I went through her computer and I went straight into her Skype logs and they talked about everything they did. And I'm glad that she wasn't home. And I don't say that to sound tough or that I'd like to think that I would never have actually hit her, but if
Go back to the first question.
Right.
Yeah, if she
Maybe
had-
she'd forgive you just this once.
Just the one.
But yeah, I've never been so angry, and I've never felt my trust so betrayed ever. So that was tough. But yeah, I might have actually hit a person with how
But
I was
not
feeling at that
her.
moment. But well, I mean, she wasn't there. I'm glad she wasn't there. I don't know what would have happened. I was angry. I was livid.
They had 3 dogs, and then they had 2 that night.
Yeah.
Josh had to kick
It
something.
was tasty. Sorry.
No, Ray Brito
yeah.
was a guest on our show, like a long-term guest. He had probably visited us on 10 or 12 shows. And his answer to the Guyry, because he sat in on a bunch of Guyries, his answer to almost every one of Andrea Joy's questions was, quote, "He's probably fucking someone else," unquote. That was his ongoing bit. And, yeah, that was a good throwback to Ray Brito.
Got it.
Yeah. So in this case, I was about to say your caller, but your emailer did not specify. She specified boyfriends or girlfriends. What about ex-wives? So because mine are, I know the habitual issues that I had with my ex-wives. It made me not want to marry them. But
Let me back up here. This is a habit.
Mm-hmm.
We need to specify a habit. Because all I have to say is that the last person I was with was extremely, well, I don't even know if it was, I don't even know anymore, but I'm just saying that the last person I was with was very codependent. Is that a habit?
habitual tendencies on codependency exist. So yeah, you could get locked into a necessity to have the dependency built in. So yeah, I mean, yes, technically that would be a habitual thing.
Okay.
So neediness of codependency, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does suck. How about? Man, I'm trying to say, because I know my exes listen to this.
So what does it matter?
I don't want to embarrass somebody.
Then
No names.
call them Veronica.
All right, so I dated this chick named Veronica. No, I dated this chick named Scarlett. What are you laughing at?
I'm sorry.
She habitually spent all my fucking money I made in the desert. How about, is that a pretty good reason not to?
On what though?
Yeah, I don't know, like random shit. whatever. That's
Getting
getting
her nails did.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Nailed it.
Oh man, yeah, this one was tough. Jason, I was making fucking really good money in the desert. I mean, really good money. And
How the hell did you get access to all your money?
well, I was married to her.
He kept giving it to her.
Yeah, I mean, it was. We had a joint checking
You
account.
need a Swiss bank account. Haven't you learned anything from the movies in the 80s?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, I came home after 2 years working in Iraq with enough money to. I bought $1,000 laptop at one point when I was there, which that I got a hard time for purchasing. And I bought when I came home. I put down my down payment on a car, and that's it. That's all I could afford to buy. And then I was back to paycheck living after 2 years living in the fucking desert.
Oh hell no!
Yeah,
I would have.
So I'll categorize that a little differently. How about spending habits? A habitual spender. That is a huge, huge problem with me and my history of women that I've dated. Just shopaholics. No remorse for money spent.
All right, number 5 comes from Bridget in Florida. Why do guys lose so much pubic hair? It is all over the bathroom.
Because we have a lot. I mean, that's...
Trent?
Yeah.
I mean, when I unzip my pants, it sounds like that. And then it goes, yeah. Every time I take a piss, I have to go put on my hat for going like spelunking. And g'day, mate, where's it at?
What?
I'm completely kidding. I'm bald down there.
Yeah, it sounds
Well.
like the dudes in your life have really shitty cleanup habits after they manscape.
Hep-A.
Yeah, you better watch
That's
those
true.
little black curlies, hep carriers.
No, I mean, definitely from the gay perspective, like, well, it's every male now these days, but just manscaping, et cetera, et cetera. I just have a lot of body hair. Period. I mean,
Oh, you have a lot of period body hair? Gross.
Hell.
Huh. I do too. When I
so-
shower, when I'll dry off from the shower, like my arms and my legs and probably my gorilla back, yeah, I'll leave hairs all over the fucking place
Mhm.
because they're there.
I have the same issue,
Ooh,
but
do you want to know the real answer?
what is
It's weak androgen receptors in the screen, in your skin, in the screen.
Whoa, that got fucking technically
Yeah.
scientific over there.
Yep, that's what
it's
it
true.
is.
Men are prone to losing hair.
You are no longer Mr. Wilson. You have graduated to Dr. Wilson on the show. That's your official new title.
I mean, I don't have any hair there now, but I don't remember, like, even when I was younger, like, hair just falling out down there and getting all
Well, so
over the
guys are a
place.
little bit different. Guys have to like pull things out to use them to go to the bathroom. Sometimes it depends on your pants. Sometimes you can just like bring your pants down to piss or whatever. But if you're pulling things out, I mean, there's a
see
lot of
this
movement
motion?
going on down
It's
there.
like
So it's
full
when you're
arm. It's like he's like-
masturbating, you're pulling the hairs out.
What are you demonstrating?
It depends on how you masturbate, but sure, you could lose pubic hair when you're masturbating. I mean, it really depends on. I mean, you know what
sounds
I've discovered?
uncomfortable.
This is getting really personal. As I got older in my life, my pubes have like started to grow up my shaft. Have you guys ever had that problem? Where your
it's
pubes now start to
ridiculous.
grow up your shaft?
Hasn't happened for me.
Give it 5 years.
Yet, I guess.
Hairy
you're gonna
dick.
have half of your dick will have hair on it.
Yeah, it's a weird
fucking
thing.
weird.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's
The
bizarre.
same thing happens to women, except it starts going down your leg. Like, you'll find a weird pubic
Sideburns.
hair, like, way down. You're like,
Really?
one hair. You're like, what the hell is this? It's by my knee.
You can't pull that one. That's your life force. You can't pull it out.
No, but I have some pubes that are just I pull it. I'm like, it's like 6 inches hair, like a 6-inch hair. That's not. I'm not talking about my penis.
I'm-
It's getting weird in the guy tonight.
Yeah. Hey, look, you asked for brutal honesty, Andrea. We are delivering brutal
So
honesty.
this is Bridget.
Bridget.
Hey, Bridget. Sorry about the pubes, babe. It's all right.
Yeah, we're doing our best not
Have
to do
him
that.
trim up.
See, the best thing you can do is tell your guy if he's leaving pubes in the toilet, just say, "Hey,
Clean up
Look,
after yourself.
that is not. I'm redheaded. That's black. That's obviously not my pube. Clean your shit up after you're done. Yeah, just let him
be
know.
aware of your hair.
Guys probably don't know. We're very oblivious to stuff like that. And here's another thing too: when you pee, sometimes you finish it with a little bit of a shake, and you go to zip up. That goddamn fly is flying right in my face.
Yeah, sure.
You could have dropped a pube as you were zipping up, and it just like a feather.
Well, maybe Bridget's getting
Settles.
shampoo and soap from Walmart, Bridget.
That's why the hair is falling out. Dun,
So,
dun, dun.
a little funny anecdote about that. So before Margaret and I got married, at my bachelor party, did like 100 questions that like she had to answer about me, and I did the same thing about her. And then her girlfriends like asked her the question, and she had to guess like what she thought I said. And one of them on mine was like, "What is his worst habit?" And I don't remember what I guessed, but it was the fact. So I cut my own hair, and apparently, I don't have this problem anymore. But apparently, I used to suck at like cleaning up after myself, and my bad habit was leaving hair all over the bathroom when I would cut my hair.
She whipped that into shape real quick, didn't
Yeah,
she?
I was like, "Oh, that's really rude of me." So I just started sweeping, but it was just funny.
Since Erica has moved in, she has brought the fucking coolest thing. I want one of these for Christmas or birthday or something.
Hint, hint.
She has these. What'd you say?
Hint, hint.
Oh, she has these most fucking incredibly strong, powerful dustbusters. God, they are fucking awesome. They will suck the fucking paint off a car, man. They are good.
Is there an
dustbusters.
attachment?
Yeah, yes.
Don't bother me while I'm cleaning my room.
It's the Flowbee minus the blades. It works wonders.
Floby. What's next?
Number 6 is from Hannah in Florida. Should I break up with my boyfriend to see if he'll fight for me?
Ugh, gross.
Yes.
I thought we didn't take emails from 13-year-olds. Sorry, Hannah. That was rude. You are a listener.
Hannah,
I apologize.
Sorry, love.
I'm not gonna apologize. Don't play games.
Yeah,
You
no.
should break
Don't
up with
play
him because you
games.
don't deserve him.
Don't play games.
Yeah, no, that's the worst. That's the worst thing you could ever do to a guy or a girl. Vice versa. Guys do it sometimes to girls too.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
games are
it's-
silly. Games are a waste of time for everybody.
Please don't play games, Hannah.
Board games are fun, though.
Board games are a
fun.
blast.
Just
Yeah.
play a game with them. A board game.
A board game.
A board game. Quelf.
At
Yes.
a
We
bathhouse.
can say.
Highly
At a
recommend.
bathhouse.
Play a board game at a bathhouse.
This is the same type of girl that will take her guy to a club and like leave him at the bar while he's getting drinks and go dance with like 4 guys on the dance floor and just watch his reaction.
Gross.
That's that type of girl. And God, I hate saying that because she's our listener, but I'm sorry. That is the mentality. All I'm having is like flashbacks to old girlfriends in high school or right after high school for that exact kind of behavior. And no, it sucks.
Yeah, I was really happy when I got to the other side of that childish jealousy.
Absolutely. I want
Like,
to
yeah,
force
go
my
for it.
guy to be jealous. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, go flirt. Get free drinks. I don't give a fuck. You're coming home with me.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
Exactly.
I don't
Give me a
whatever.
drink.
Yes. So Alexa just perked up there. She heard something she liked and she got blue.
We drink it?
Alexa?
Alexa, we drink it?
Oh, we're going to
I
get
couldn't.
ads for
There's
it
no
now.
way.
Yeah.
All right. Our last question comes from Lainey in Florida.
Lainey.
That's a cool name.
Laney Jane.
Does it matter if my boyfriend and I stay at a hotel and the people next door can hear us making love?
No.
Oh, no.
Do it. Not at all.
Shout it out, babe. Inspire
Yeah.
others.
Absolutely. If you're so loud, that is, you wear that like a trophy. If you're loud enough that when you go to check out the next day, the hotel tells you that they received a complaint and had to move your neighbor, that is a fucking trophy. Yes, you wear that like fucking like a crown.
Yep.
No.
Inspire.
Maybe it'll make your neighbors start to do the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Would you listen if you heard somebody fucking in the next room while you're in a
Yes.
hotel? Would you listen
Of course I would.
like to see how good it is?
Absolutely.
yeah.
I have listened.
How do you know the difference between a murder and good sex?
You can tell. You can just tell.
How
I
would
don't know.
How would I know?
Or, all right, a murder and rough sex. Let's put it that way. This is not a joke. I really don't know. I want to know.
No,
you
know
wait
what?
for the
I mean,
safe word.
Length.
I feel like at this point in my life, I know the difference between violent outcry and like ecstasy.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would. I've never had the opportunity to listen to somebody banging in the next room.
It's a weird experience.
Is it?
It turned me into a voyeur.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. Where can we go watch people have or listen to people have sex? You want to go down like
The
you wanna,
cheapest
wait? Do you
hotel
want to go like
can
to the
find.
Aladdin Motel down in
Yes.
pay by the hour kind of place?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Take a
Fun
microphone.
fact: the Aladdin Theater and the the Aladdin Motel and the Aladdin Theater were once a joined company. The Aladdin Theater
Really?
is the original name for the historic Cocoa Village Playhouse, and that it was owned by the same people, and it was a place for people to stay when they came from Palm Bay in their horse
1920s.
carriage.
Yeah, this is 1920s. So
Yeah.
legitimately.
To stay when they came to see the movie.
That's cool. That's really, really cool.
Ooh, off the rails.
And
Hello.
now you can go there to listen to people fuck with an hourly rate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they've renovated the rooms.
And apparently you can get a good crack there. They're not still associated to the Playhouse, are they?
No.
Oh, thank
That's
God.
good.
Okay.
No. This was just a history bit.
Just
This
burn
is a
that ability to get that sponsor.
Modern day. Yeah, no, I live right across the street from the Aladdin Motel, so I sit out on my balcony and kind of watch every once in a while.
I bet that's entertaining.
Watch the traffic.
Do you know what time of day it is by the police lights? Is that-
Man, there are police lights all the time on that strip.
Are there really?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh,
All the time.
we had a friend that used to live pretty close to there. Kim Kennedy used to live pretty close to that, didn't she?
I wish Wiggles was still happening.
Yeah.
That's where Kim Kennedy used to live, right behind where
Oh,
Wiggles
there you
was.
say at Wiggles.
At Wiggles, yes. She was a dancer at Wiggles. You know
Oh,
Kim,
yeah.
don't you?
Kim, who?
Kim Kennedy? Do you recognize that
You
name?
can see her ass in the glass of beer.
Yeah,
on the banner.
our logo is her. It's kind of behind the,
Oh, it is.
That's not
door
going to
there.
make him recognize her.
Maybe he
yeah,
recognizes by the
totally.
ass. Who knows?
I can't see.
Anyway,
That's how I know you're not a guy.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't.
That was an
recognize
interesting day. That was an interesting day in the studio. I've never seen Tack so aroused and so nervous at the same
It looks
time.
like an illustration. That's an actual photo.
So it's a photo that was
Filtered?
then it was silhouetted
Yes.
in Photoshop.
Yes.
And then of course, a little bit of touch-up work was done to make it fit a logo, because logos are not, as crisp of a picture. You don't need them to be as crisp. So
Yeah.
it was dumbed down a little bit to fit into the logo. But yeah, that's was one of our friends that posed for our model for our Living Podcariously logo.
Well, I
Pretty
miss
cool.
Wiggles.
Yeah. I never went to Wiggles. I've been to every other one, but I never was at Wiggles.
Before it was demolished, it was called the Sugar Shack, which was
remember
also
that.
the name of the donut shop across the,
Yeah.
across the causeway.
Boy, that's
so-
ironic.
Yeah.
Or
Andrea
a really unfortunate mistake.
Andrea took me to a gentleman's establishment on my 38th birthday.
Aw.
Fuck you! You're right behind me, buddy.
I know.
I think it's 38.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was nice. It was a lot of fun. Was I supposed to not tell that, or we've told it before on the
I
on
say
the
you've
show.
talked about it. There was a limo and everything.
Yeah.
They should
Okay,
put a
yeah.
strip. They should put a strip section on the casino boat. Really?
Jason, were you here? We're tangenting
I'd love that.
your stuff again. Were you
Slots
here
and slots.
in Brevard County when they had the bordello?
No.
There was a floating whorehouse that operated out of our port here.
Nice.
Like, no shit, you could go out on the boat once you hit international waters. You can do anything you fucking want, and it was legal. So the problem, they got into some trouble because in that same society or group, culture, whatever, also comes a lot of violence and a lot of drugs. So
Yeah.
they got into some trouble in some other areas, not the owners but their patrons. Anyway, so what they do is they go to different ports using this boat and this LLC. They rent out the LLC and advertise in the local community for 6-8 months until they finally get kicked out and move on to the next one. So they were here for about 6 to 8 months before the
What
port finally
year
said, "Get
was
the fuck
this?
out of here." God, I guess that was probably 2001, 2002, maybe.
Did you go on it?
All
All right, that's the end of the diary.
All right, best
That was the
diary
best
ever.
diary ever.
It was an interesting. It was a very interesting boat. Let's just put it that way.
I had just on that note, I had a friend a couple years ago. He wanted to put together a glory hole truck. like a food truck, but a glory hole truck where you go to like a fair, like a Folsom, or not a Folsom, the Folsom Street. There's this thing in San Diego, a festival that happens where everyone just, it's a sex festival, and so he wanted to have a glory hole truck where you just walk up,
Yeah, do your thing.
do your thing.
All consist. So I pictured something different than what I think you're actually talking about. I pictured a pickup truck with a box, like a stand on the back of it with a bunch of holes. So,
Yeah.
and all you saw driving down the street were all these wieners sticking out of the glory holes. That's what I pictured immediately when you said a glory hole truck. So no, you mean like a concealed area?
Yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a cube, and you don't know what's inside.
Andrea, do you know what a glory hole is?
Mm-hmm.
Describe it to us?
No.
Slowly.
Oh, come on. Come on. That's actually a porn category.
You stick your junk in there,
Yeah,
and someone will get it.
Somebody gets it. Yeah, somebody gets it. Or the other way around, the porn categories are a girl goes into a room to watch porn, and then suddenly there's these holes that dicks come through, and they go, "Oh, there's penises."
I think I'll just play with those.
Yes, exactly.
Again,
that
how it
happens
works.
to me all the
That's how it
time.
works.
something else the straight stole from the gays.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
it's not a straight thing
That
to do.
could be a bit. That could be a bit for Jason. That could be the
The glory hole.
no Living Podcast. That'll change our logo design for sure. No, that could be a bit where the gays steal from straight, or the straights steal from the gay community, and you could make it every week something that
Another
was
thing
originally
the
something
straight
that
stole
was
from
part.
the gays.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Why
Anyway,
can't straights be perverts too?
Straights
We're just
are.
not as
I
creative,
think
is
more
what I'm
than
hearing.
gays. Honestly, we're just out and proud about it.
all right. You guys ready to get out of here?
Yep.
All right. Let's break it for the night. So, thank you very much, Jason, very much for joining us
Yeah,
this
hell yeah.
evening. We greatly appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
It was
Thank
a lot
you.
of fun. And go check out some of Jason's shows over at the Cocoa Village Playhouse, the historic Cocoa Village Playhouse.
Is there a good site to pull that whole lineup?
Absolutely, CocoaVillagePlayhouse.com. And incidentally, despite my commentary this evening, we do showcase family-friendly entertainment at the historic Cocoa Village Playhouse. But yeah, CocoaVillagePlayhouse.com. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. 30th season, it's gonna be great.
That is awesome.
Nice.
We're definitely going to be up there a lot more. All right. So on behalf of Living Podcariously, I am Adam.
I'm Andrea Joy.
I'm Mr. Wilson.
And to our special guest,
Jason Crase.
thank you guys for listening tonight. We will see you next week.
You never try if you have to, but you can't survive if they will let you. Will you hide away in a bedroom? Oh, is that really just what you used to? Oh, so you're putting some pictures, trying to make it a home, but it's a home really a home if you're eating alone. You find yourself waiting on the ring of the phone, swearing to yourself that you're finding your own. Well, you're asking all the right questions, searching for your direction. But though you're reaching out to someone, only see your own reflection. Oh, still putting no pictures, trying to make it a home, but it's a home really a home if you're sleeping alone. You find yourself waiting on the ring of the phone, and swearing to yourself that you're finding your own. Come on. Oh, it's such a lonely world, a world of inequality. Are we searching for a cure? Are we choosing to ignore? We're seeing more, hey, misery. So I'm a Branson. No, I've never been a man for gambling. Only I decide my fate. No, I'm sure nothing will ever change. So I'm taking down the pictures of my so-called home, where I was sure I would spend my whole life alone. Ain't nobody on the other end of the phone, but my misery is slowly turning into a song. Oh, it's such a lonely world, a world of inequality. Well, are we searching for a cure? Well, are we choosing to